Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, my dear fellow guests and Toastmasters. As a part of this meeting, please switch off your mobiles or keep them in silent mode unless until you get your chance to speak. Please be yourself in mute mode. As Toastmasters Club, we provide a supportive and positive learning experience in which members are empowered to develop communication and leadership skills, resulting in great self confidence and personal growth. So, before starting the meeting, I request everyone to start this wonderful meeting with a huge round of applause. Thank you. Over to you, Madam President.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Shukruth, for welcoming us to the meeting. Good evening, good morning, Toastmasters and guests. Welcome to Toastmasters for Professionals. And I wish to celebrate with each and every one of you a Happy New Year. Happy New Year to all of you. Happy New Year to you and your families. I wish you great health. I wish you success. And I wish you a beautiful time as we continue to rebuild and reconnect as Toastmasters for Professionals. This morning or this evening, I would like to take note of special people visiting our club. I would like to take note of our area director, D. Marie Shai King. Thank you, D. Marie Shai King, for visiting us. Please give a round of applause to welcome D. Marie Shai King. I would also like to welcome our general evaluator today. She is a special guest, but taking on a role. Our general evaluator is Lee Backley from Singapore, 2 clubs in Singapore. Lee Backley, welcome, and thank you for joining us today. But special mention goes to our club members who make us really look good, who make sure that this club runs efficiently. So thank you, our club members, Dr. Mary Thomas, Guillermo James, Shukruth Gawada, Shihas Baka, and in absentia, Hector and John Curtis. Thank you so much for making our club look good. I would like to remind us to all members of the club and all Toastmasters to take on the training from Toastmasters Leadership International. It is for your benefit, but mostly for the club officers, it is for our benefit this semester. We need to be marking in our opportunity to take our training. So I'm going to ask each one of us to make sure before the end of this month, we have signed up to attend any of the meetings. Check in your inboxes, go in on TOMI and see when you can log in and have your training done so that we can qualify for our DCP goals. And now I will take my role as your Toastmaster of the day and welcome our members and our role takers. This morning, this evening, we're going to be treated to a sumptuous meal. And this is our theme, Wu-Wei. This theme has not been introduced to us before, so it's the first time I'm hearing of a theme like this, which means the art of going with the flow. So Toastmasters and guests, before I get into our meeting, I would like to introduce our 2 most important role takers for the day. But specifically, I will concentrate on our role taker who will be our timer, Shihas Baka. Please take to the floor and let us know what your role as timer will be today. Thank you. Over to you, Shihas.
Thank you, Madam Toastmasters. Good morning, good evening, fellow Toastmasters and guests. I'll be the timer for today. My role is to make sure that each role is given adequate time for them to come ahead on this floor and convey their message. I'll be showing 3 flags this evening or this morning, that is green, yellow, and red. Whenever you see a green flag that is shown up in my background, that means that you have been qualified for that particular speaking event. Yellow, when you see yellow, it means it's time to wind up. And when you see a red flag, it basically says that the allocated time is over and you need to wind up within 30 seconds. So we are having various sections. The first section is going to be the keynote speaker. That will be for 15 minutes. So you'll be seeing a green at 10, yellow at 12, and red at 15. We have a panel discussion in this meet. So we will be having 4 panelists, and each panelist will have 4 minutes. So again, the sequence would be 2, 3, and 4. 2 at green, 3 yellow, and 4 red. For Q&A, we have 5 minutes, 3, 4, 5. Green at 3, yellow at 4, and 5, you will see a green flag. Table topics is between 2 to 3 minutes, 2, 2.5, and 3 minutes. So 1 to 2 minutes. Table topics is 1 to 2 minutes, 1 green, 1 minutes and 30 seconds, you'll see the yellow card, and at 2 minutes, you'll see the red card. And for speaker, we have speeches between 5 to 7 minutes. At 5 minutes, I'll be showing the green card, 6 yellow, and 7 red. And evaluation and general evaluation will be between 2 to 3 minutes. Same, 2 green, 2.5 minutes yellow, and 3 at red. I'll be showing you. Please do pin me so that you can see my screen as we proceed on with the meeting. I'll be back with my report when called upon. But now I just hand it back to our team of Toastmasters, Catherine.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Shihaz Baka. Thank you for choosing to be our timer today. And now, ladies and gentlemen, before I introduce our keynote speaker, I would like to share just a few words with you. It has been said that when you are in flow, each experience can become a gift. When life calls you into its dance, let go and follow where it might lead you. This evening, this morning, we are invited to go with the flow. I have the awesome privilege of introducing our keynote speaker today. She is previously my mentor. If you think there's anything good about how I spoke or how I speak or how I lead, she is the reason that Toastmasters happened in my life. She was the person who introduced me to Toastmasters. Beverley Nambozo Nsengiyunva is a keynote and sought after speaker. She is an international poet, the founder of the BNI Poetry Foundation. She is an author and a speaker and uses this gift to impact across the globe. She is a distinguished Toastmaster and the founder of Toastmasters East Africa. She is also the person who started the East Africa District newsletter called Sauti ya Toastmaster. She's also the charter president for my former club, which was Bukoto Toastmasters. Ladies and gentlemen, Toastmasters and guests, will you give a round of applause as we welcome the keynote speaker today, Wu-Wei, Beverley Nambozo.
Thank you so much, my dear friend and sister, Kathy. It's wonderful to know you're the president. Congratulations. There are some seeds you sow, and when you see them flourish, you just partake in that orchard. Warm greetings to all of you from my home club in Kampala, Bukoto Toastmasters Club. It was a bit difficult to get people here because they thought it was 5:30 p.m. in East Africa. When I told them the meeting is actually at 4:30 a.m., I'm a morning person, they said, Beverley, we shall watch the recording. I send you greetings from all of the members, especially my president, Dorothy Okoboy. Wu-Wei. In 2017, I traveled to China, where I visited Beijing and Hubei provinces, and I felt so drawn and attached. As a poet, I visited the magnificence of the artistry and the over 500 years of art that they have created. Subsequently, I started following Chinese philosophy, and under Daoism, there is a philosophy called Wu-Wei. It means going with the flow. It doesn't mean being lazy and waiting for the winds to blow you. It means being in your zone, at your best, that whatever you do doesn't feel like work, and yet you excel. I'm a long distance swimmer. It didn't begin by accident, or maybe it did. It was in 1999. I traveled with some friends to Sese Island, one of the 84 islands on Lake Victoria, the largest freshwater lake in Africa. My classmate at Makerere University, where I was studying for my first degree in education, was a swimmer for the national team in Uganda. She used to invite me to swim with her at the pool. And I thought to myself, why would I wake up early to swim in the cold pool when I could stay in bed for an extra hour? I used to swim maybe one lap, crawl. That was enough for me. Backstroke, one lap, that was enough. She invited me until I relented. On watching her swim, I became intrigued and I said, how do I become like you? She said, Beverley, when I coach you, you're going to become an expert in every stroke. Before long, I knew butterfly, backstroke, crawl, and breaststroke to perfection. And then she told me, when you come into the pool for warm-up, 30 laps alone. I thought, she's insane. Who wants to do 30 laps? But before long, not only was I swimming 30 laps with ease, but I would swim 100 laps as well, going with the flow. At the beginning, while I struggled to learn and master these skills, before long, I conquered every challenge and swimming became second nature. In 1999, my friend, whose parents owned Sese Island Beach where we were, invited us over an Easter weekend. With somebody else, we stood at the shore of this island and looking across the lake, we could see an island far away. How many of you have visited an island or a beach and you look across and you see some other body, another island where you are, and you feel, I could swim there and back? How many of you, anyone who's visited an island and felt the need to swim across, challenge themselves? There are quite a few. When you're in the water, you must understand that distance is different. What you see across is most likely 10 times further than your natural vision. We started to swim. Swimming in a lake is different from swimming in a pool because the current takes you wherever it pleases. Unknowingly, we were swimming across Lutoboka Channel, which is about 13 kilometers according to my research. But because the current was taking us to and fro, we may have swum easily 20 kilometers. As we began swimming, the island seemed to go further and further away. But we were in our 20s. We thought, let's just continue swimming. Nothing to lose. When we had reached somewhere midway, halfway from where we had left, halfway to where we were going, we thought, wait a second, what's happening here? We are not arriving. We're far from where we left. No one knows that we left. But there was nothing to do. We had to go with the flow. And so we started chatting to one another, talking, swimming backstroke because that's easiest when you're going long distance. The sun burnt us, but we didn't care. We started to swim and talk. We swam for so long. The island seemed further and further away because that current was taking us. But when you're in the middle of a lake of unknown depth, you have no choice but to swim. Because if you panic, you'll drown. Wu-Wei is the art of going with the flow. Do not fret to achieve maximum excellence. If you panic in the middle of any task, you may drown. And it's easy to panic. We find challenges. Our competitors seem to be beating us. We become confused, overwhelmed by life. But one Chinese philosopher said that the temptation to quit will be greatest before you're about to succeed. That's when all the challenges come your way, all the reasons to not continue come your way. He further goes on to say that be not afraid of going slowly, be afraid of standing still. There was no standing still in the middle of the lake. We continued swimming. slowly, until eventually we reached the shore. Now, this is what happens when you've been in the water for over 3 hours. You are no longer able to carry your own weight. When we arrived, we literally fell flat because the energy of buoyancy had made us light. We couldn't carry our weight anymore. We just fell flat on the sand, relieved like Robinson Crusoe, energized, exhilarated, fatigued, to say the least. After about 10 to 15 minutes of rest with no one in sight, we got up and said to ourselves, we have to swim right back. That's right. As we were about to take another plunge into the water, we saw a boat coming along. It was our friends, the owners of the island. They came, and as soon as they got out, they said, Beverley, are you stupid? How could you swim across the lake? When we came to look for you, we thought we'd find your dead bodies floating on the water, eaten by crocodiles. Do you know where you have swum? How could you be so irresponsible? In 1999, I only know 2 people who had mobile phones at the time. One of them was my mother, who was not with me, and the other was the owner of the island. You can imagine the shock and the horror they felt. We were ready to swim back. What I learned is that becoming a long-distance swimmer happened by accident, but it happened because I had mastered the skill of swimming, going with the flow. If you want to master anything, keep going. Don't fret or panic, because just like in the middle of the lake, you will drown. You will succeed. I also want to say that no matter how skilled you are at swimming, always make sure that there's a security guard or a life coach next to you. I'm an excellent swimmer. I do not go into the pool, neither do I tell my children to go into the pool unless there's a life coach. Going with the flow is something I learned to overcome procrastination. Last year, I chased so many things and achieved none of the things I actually wanted. The things I did achieve, though, were the things that have always been in my natural being. I've always wanted to travel and perform poetry, but I subdued that because I said, no, I want to do things that have a more deeper meaning, or so I felt. I applied for 50 positions in particular organizations, and I achieved none of them. All of them responded by saying, due to the number of applications and highly qualified applicants, we regret to inform you, Beverley, 50 of them. The places I did succeed were the areas that were in my natural state of being, things I'd always worked hard at, like poetry. I received invitations to travel, to perform poetry. Why was I going against this flow? I don't know. I was fretting, I was panicking, and I was drowning. But when I lifted my head up, it all made sense. In the chat, do you want to tell me what is your place where you feel you are just going with the flow? Where is that place where you feel, this is where I belong? I'm not going to struggle. This is where I belong. Let's see some responses in the chat. I'm using my phone, so I may look a bit lopsided. Toastmasters, great. That is Eliosh Theophilus. Toastmasters, where you're going for the flow. That's great, because maybe you wanted to master your public speaking, leadership, networking skills. And by so doing, while you may have struggled to adapt to the space, you now find it part of your DNA, an extension of who you are, and you achieve maximum excellence. Mathematics, table topics master Guillermo. Mathematics was definitely not in my space, but yes, congratulations. So maths comes easily to you. And why it comes easily is because you've already worked hard at it. I tell people that if I do anything and it appears easy, it's because I have worked extremely hard at it. Speaking, listening, painting. I love these answers. Reading, excellent, excellent. I challenged myself with reading as well last year. While I'm a good reader, I felt I wasn't reading to my potential. I pulled down books that had been in my shelves for over 10 years and started reading and consuming them and enjoying the process. When you want to achieve maximum excellence, while the beginning may be difficult, afterwards you just achieve excellence. You go with it. Your energy is geared in the right direction. Thank you so much for your responses. I really, really love that. And that's what it is with anything in life. Wu-Wei means do nothing, achieve everything. In other words, don't fret or panic. I have learned how to follow my instinct, and often we don't do that because we feel, no, maybe not. You second guess yourself, or there's something you want so much, instant gratification. The crowd is taking you towards a certain space. It's exciting. You know you're not supposed to, you know you're supposed to walk away, but it's easier to say yes. The thrill of the instant gratification. And afterwards you realize, why didn't I listen? I have a notebook. I write down a lot of things, lessons I've learned, mostly when I'm in the quiet. Waking up early is second nature to me. So this 4:30 a.m. meeting for me was easy. For other people, their night. They like to talk at 11 p.m. I may be able to do that, but I prefer the morning. Everyone has their own space of energy. And I found that while waking up early is not always a thrill, you must understand that while Toastmasters is your place where you enjoy speaking, reading, listening, you always work hard, don't you? It's not always, ooh, like receiving gifts under the Christmas tree. You work hard at it. People must understand that while you may love the work you do, your job, you still have to work hard. Some days you don't want to wake up and go for a Toastmasters meeting. Some days I don't want to wake up and write poetry or perform or prepare for a speech. But when I'm doing it, I realize how important it is. So it's not always that we have a big smile on our face. We're full of the thrill of it. It takes hard work. Just like when you're driving, you turn on the engine to warm it. And then when the car starts, the car also gets accustomed to the road and driving is easy. So we have to first turn on our own internal engines, warm up, and then. I have learned a lot about exercise, and you must always warm up. You may be excellent at marathons, excellent at jumping jacks and planks, but the rule of exercise to achieve maximum results is to always warm up. It doesn't matter how many Olympic medals you have won. Every time you step up to exercise, you warm up. With any skill, your Toastmasters, speaking, reading, listening, mathematics, painting, all of those you've mentioned, you must warm up. I'm afraid I'm not able to see the timer because I'm using my phone, but may I know how much time I have left, please?
You have 2 more minutes to.
2 more minutes, thank you. Wu-Wei, going with the flow. With me, becoming a long-distance swimmer began by accident. But the reason why I'm excellent at it is because I had mastered the craft with a great coach. What lessons do we learn? In any skill you want to become a master at, get a coach, someone who is excellent. Not every coach is meant for you. Get a coach whom you know is part of your destiny, who envisions your own success and wants you to be the best version of yourself. My classmate was this person, a national swimmer who understood my potential more than I did and slowly, patiently, successfully taught me how to swim with diligence. And that's why all my children now swim well. You see what a coach can do? A coach's impact will change your life for generations. What else? Find out what it is you're excellent at. Some of us, we take part in so many things. We're volunteering in 10 organizations, and we call it giving back to the community. But you're doing so much, you end up losing yourself. I say, if you like 10 things, write them all down, narrow them until there are 2. If you want to achieve maximum excellence, don't volunteer in more than 2 organizations. Even more than 1, I feel, is a lot, but more than 2 is definitely excessive. If you feel you're wearing yourself thin, you most likely are. If you feel you don't have enough time to do important things like spending time with your children, your hobbies, your career, then most likely you're doing excessive things that are unnecessary. Even belonging to too many Toastmasters activities, narrow them down. If you're always worn out, complaining of burnout, it's because you're doing excess. So get a great coach, narrow down your activities, and excel in those that you know is part of your purpose. Thank you so much. It's been such a pleasure to be here. Greetings from Bokoto Toastmasters Club. And maybe when I visit, because you're all over the world, maybe when I visit for poetry or for speaking, I'll meet you in a swimming pool or the ocean or an island or a beach. It's been such a pleasure to meet all of you. And remember, opportunities do not just happen, you create them. Another quote from the great Chinese philosophers. Over to you, Toastmaster.
Wow, wow, wow. Toastmasters and guests, let me hear you applaud. Let me hear you respond. Let me hear you connect with what just happened to us. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Beverley, for that keynote delivery that you have given to us. I have taken 3 big things. Turn on your internal engine. Warm up. Master the craft with a great coach. And then she says, not every coach is good for you. That is so important to know who the coach is. And a coach can impact, or a coach's impact will change your life for generations. Thank you so much, Beverley, for sharing with us the wisdom from Wu-Wei. I hope each of you has had a moment to reflect on what she has shared. I don't think I will stay the same. I would like to ask you, Toastmasters and guests, to go round into the chat room and share with Beverley what your key learnings were from her keynote delivery. I will give you, Timer, will you please give us a minute for Toastmasters and guests to respond to Beverley for at least 1 minute in the chat room. Please go ahead and share what your learning has been that you will never forget from this speech. Thank you so much, Beverley. It is a pleasure to hear you. Take time, wake up at 4:30 a.m. and be with us. Thank you for the sacrifice.
Thank you.
Lisa Sompton, she said, very inspiring. I'll never forget to narrow interests to master one. That's wonderful. Thank you so much. I'd also like to go ahead and hear from Rosaline Khan. Great information on swimming, take chances, get up early, follow your skills. We share so many interests. I hope, Rosaline, you will connect with Beverley. Beverley, I'd like to ask you to share with us your details so that members and guests can connect with you at any moment. Great keynote speech. Kudos. Thank you so much for that. And what an inspirational keynote from DTM Promote. Very interesting and memorable. Your command over the language is really commendable. Lucky to have you today. I hope you heard that, Beverley. Please look out in the room, in the chat room. Beverley is going to share her details. She says, a huge pleasure. Thank you so much. If you want to know more about Beverley, please look her up on LinkedIn as well. She's on LinkedIn. She's on all social media platforms. She is a distinguished Toastmaster. If you feel you'd like to get in touch with her, she is exceptional. I am glad that I had her for a mentor for a long time. There's her email. Please look in the chat, and there's her phone number, WhatsApp. If you want to continue to get in touch with her, you'll be happy to do that. Augustine, thank you so much. Okay, it's time for us to get into the next part of our meeting. And our next part of our meeting, we will be having a keynote, a panelist moderator who will be attempting his level 5, and that is none other than Toastmaster Shakil. And I would like to know if Toastmaster Shakil is going to have an evaluator. Will you have an evaluator, Toastmaster Shakil?
Yes, TM Pramod is my evaluator. TM Pramod.
Okay. Thank you so much. Distinguished Toastmaster Pramod, as the evaluator for Toastmaster Shakil, will you kindly take to the podium and let us know what your expectations of Toastmaster Shakil will be this evening?
Good morning and good evening, everyone. Toastmaster Shakil is attempting his first experience of being a panel moderator. It's a particular project which requires the speaker to exhibit his or her skill as a panelist or a true leader coordinating the discussion among a group of people. So he would be, I'm sure that he would be coming out with an excellent topic for panel discussion, and he will introduce the panelists in the appropriate manner. Wish you all the best, Shakil. Back to you, Catherine.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Pramod. Toastmasters and guests, I would like to introduce our speaker, and this is Toastmaster Shakil Kawaja from CA Toastmasters Club, Karachi District 122P. Toastmaster Shakil is a professional accountant who's done his ACMA, CIMA UK finalist. He is working in a finance role in the energy sector. He is a professional writer, a corporate trainer, and has very many other accolades to his name. Much to his accomplishments, he is also a digital marketer. Toastmaster Shakil is going to be speaking using his project level 5, and he will be giving a panel moderation. I would like to invite Shakil to now take to the podium. Please give a round of applause to welcome him.
Okay, thanks, respected President. Toastmaster Shrihas Baker is the timer. And what's the maximum
Yes,
time
I'll be
allotted?
timing you.
Okay, what's the maximum time allotted to me?
So we have 4 panelists.
Yeah, please go on, Shihab.
Okay.
Yes, so we have 4 panelists. For each panelist, there will be 4 minutes allocated, and there is a 5 minutes Q&A. And do you need me to do anything else?
Actually, I would like to tell you, it's okay. I will going to manage it. Actually, there are almost 2 more panelists. I have just to add the variety maybe to the discussion. So there, I think 5 to 6 panelists, and the time I will be giving is 2 minutes each for initially for each panelist. Got it?
Yes, 2 minutes
Okay.
each. Is there anything else that you want me to?
No, that's fine. And then we will have a question answer session of maybe 3 to 4 minutes at the end. I think we have 25 minutes or 30 minutes total.
I had
Shakil, I have allocated 25 minutes for you.
Okay, that's fine. Let's start. Fellow Toastmasters and distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, today we are going to have a panel discussion on a topic very close to my heart, because I also intended to be one of the immigrants during my early days of the career. When I was working in Siemens, I was really had many opportunities to go abroad, but maybe due to some personal reasons, you can say maybe, or my destiny didn't wanted me to go abroad. Maybe that was the reason. So it's a very very good phenomenon. You can say the brain drain. First of all, I would like to have you what the brain drain is. Actually, brain drain is when people from developing countries move abroad for better opportunities. So they really go to advanced countries for better prospects. Now, the question is for the developing countries, because developing countries lose their top talent, and then that talent goes abroad. Actually, it's not whole negative for the home country as well, because they have families back here. When people go abroad, they send remittances and funds for their family. So in a way, the social status of the family also uplifts for the people gone abroad. And also in the form of remittances for countries like, you can say, India, Pakistan, Bangladesh, and Sri Lanka, and many more countries in the developing countries, they got a huge source of foreign exchange bringing back home. After exports is the second largest number of foreign exchange for any developing countries. And also they are playing their active role in the countries they have migrated. So I would like to now tell you and introduce our beautiful speakers and wonderful people. We have 5 to 6 of them. First of all, I would like to tell you about DTM Rosaleen Khan. She's a best-selling author. She is an impressionist, an artist, 3 times TEDx speaker. And you will be pleased to know she is a professor at public speaking at a US university. So we will have an honor of listening to DTM Rosaleen Khan. And next we have with us is Toastmaster Augustine J. Gill. He is actually from Pakistan, my home country. He is currently heading and leading an organization generation department in a USA-based digital marketing company, lead generation department. And then he's a retiree from Abbott Pakistan Limited, a Chicago, USA-based diversified pharmaceutical company. With more than 2.7 decades in management of sales and marketing, TM Augustine is a thorough professional. He's also an area director in District 122P, that is Pakistan. He loves music and traveling and photography. Now coming to my next panelist, respected Madam Catherine Napondo, an education and a girl-child empowerment enthusiast, living in Malaysia now, originally from Uganda. As an expat spouse, is passionate about communication and leadership. We have all witnessed from her thorough presidential address at the start of the meeting. She is a senior Toastmaster since 5 years, currently president of our prestigious Toastmasters for Professionals Club. As president, she had committed to growing her experience for Toastmasters for Professionals. Now coming to our next panelist, we have DTM Lee Buckley. She is a senior learning facilitator at the Torrens University, Australia. She is an immigrant as well from Malaysia. So currently she is working in Australia. So we have got a diversified panel of immigrants also and the people who have adopted country like USA and so and so. So looking forward to an exciting discussion today. And she is also a DTM, a very active Toastmaster, DTM Lee Buckley, who always encourage others to participate and also motivate others as well. Now coming next, we also have a panelist, DTM Lisa with us. Actually, I wanted to have a flavor of many panelists and countries. So we have DTM Lisa, a dedicated Toastmaster member for 3 years, has achieved remarkable milestones, concluding 4 pathways. Wow, very senior distinguished Toastmaster, excelling as an area director with over 40 years of experience as speech language pathologist. She will also be speaking on the psychological aspect of brain drain. Now coming to our very own Toastmaster Mary Thomas. Toastmaster Mary Thomas is a Malaysian living in Philippines, another immigrant. She has been on Toastmaster journey since 1991. Wow. I think the most senior Toastmaster we can have today is Toastmaster Mary Thomas. First Toastmaster Club, she chartered the first Toastmaster Club, her team in her hometown, Johor Bahru. Well, she is a very good doctor at profession. In Toastmasters, currently, she is a VPE in Pune Turner's Advanced Toastmasters. She is a VPE in Toastmaster for Professionals. She is everywhere. And remember one thing, I am seeing her everywhere in meetings from one country to another. She has co-authored 2 books as well, Break Free to Stand in Power, Break Free to Health and Vitality. So we have a very, very diversified panel today. Now coming to the panel discussion, I would like to invite DTM Lee Buckley. What are your experiences? What were your thoughts and memories when you migrated from Malaysia for better prospects in Australia? So over to you, DTM Lee Buckley.
Thank you, Toastmaster Shakil. I was one of the international students who happened to come to Sydney, Australia at the young age of 18. Can you believe it? Wide-eyed, looking for opportunity in another country. And I ended up staying after I graduated. And so my experience when I came was more the cultural shock. Things were so much bigger in Australia compared to Malaysia. However, the shops were closed at 5 p.m. The restaurants were closed at 9 p.m. There was nothing open compared to Malaysia, which happened to be 24 hours. You can always walk out and have a drink, have a food, have coffee with your friends. The other thing I also experienced was I used to call all my friends, uncles, aunties, or their parents. Here, when I call them uncle and auntie, they say, well, I'm not your uncle, I'm not your auntie. Why do you call me that? And so it was a cultural shock to me. Imagine me at a young age of 18 and 19, wide-eyed and trying to assimilate into this Western culture in Australia. Back to you, Toastmaster Shakil.
Thanks for your beautiful thoughts. Now I would like to build on what you said. You are quite young immigrants at the age of 18. And of cultural shock you of my country. Now over to you, Toastmaster Mary Thomas. Am I audible? Am I audible?
Yes, you are.
Yeah, over to you, Toastmaster.
All right. I believe I'm asked to explain how I felt when I went to the Philippines. All right. I'll start with the fact that I went to the Philippines in a way that not many people migrate or move. I went to the Philippines primarily for my children's education. I wanted them to have a wholesome education in a Christian country because I'm Christian, and both of them were going to medical school. I really wanted them to have a more wholesome approach to medicine and saving lives. The other reason I went to the Philippines was because I'm doing charity work, and Philippines is, as you know, it's not exactly a developing country. And I know my services are needed in the community and in the rural areas or even in the general hospital. So I went there with different reasons. It had nothing really to do with the economy or my economies of scale. Back to you.
Hello, Shakil.
Yeah, I'm on. Thanks, Thomas. I think you have concluded your remarks. Now moving on, after we have heard, you can say you both migrated, one from Malaysia, panelist here, T and Catherine. She came to Malaysia. So how was this experience different from DTM Lee Buckley and Mary Thomas? Because they left Malaysia abroad for better prospects, and you reached Malaysia for better prospects, or maybe with your spouse for better prospects. Over to you, Toastmaster Catherine.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Shakil. My experience is different. Different, but maybe not so different. I actually have been Moving, as a family, we have been moving ever since my husband joined the United Nations. And so our first duty station as a family was Yemen when I had a 2-month-old baby and a toddler in hand. So I have experienced living in a briefcase with the family. But it has also been a very beautiful experience. So living Uganda, where I was born and raised, and moving to Yemen, experiencing the Arab culture was rich. But it was also time for me to connect with my children. I was at the childbearing stage, and that was beautiful. The experience was that your family can actually settle and live in any part of the world, but your family can also maintain your culture while you're away from home. If you wanted to call it brain drain, I would call it something slightly different. I would call it brain experiences that enrich our communities. I do not call it immigrants, I call it work immigrants. Work immigrants probably go to work in another country and return home, and that's who we are. So we work so that we build our homes, we work so that we build our experiences. Moving to Malaysia was totally new to us, but it was also rich. It was enriching that we discovered we have so much in common. It opened our world to see that we are just blood, flesh, and bones. We are the same people. We are looking for the same things. That was my experience for my young family and myself. And today, I get the opportunity to meet each and every one of you in this meeting because I moved to Malaysia. That is the gift of living in a world that is not just home, and yet you maintain your identity. Back to you, panelist moderator. Shakil, you're muted.
Yeah, thanks, madam, for your beautiful thoughts and a new term that it's not a brain drain, it's a brain experience or a new experience for all of us. Now, moving to Toastmaster Augustine Gill. As recently, Pakistan is witnessing a fast pace of brain drain. Remember one thing, brain drain in itself is not that bad. The fast pace of it is really dangerous for any country. Currently, Pakistan is facing a brain drain situation since the last 1.5 years. So the fast pace of it, it's when you have brain drain in the fast pace, you tend to lose quality resource for valuable jobs, for highly skilled resource, the resource is not there. So over to you, Toastmaster Augustine, on having a fast pace of brain drain like we have in Pakistan, in our home country. Over to you, Toastmaster Augustine. Toastmaster Augustine, are you there? Or we can have Toastmaster Augustine, can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Can you hear me?
Okay, okay. Yeah, over to you.
Okay.
You have got the question of experience of Pakistan having a fast pace of building.
Okay. Toastmaster Shakil Khwaja, thank you very much, as well as all the esteemed Toastmasters. As I mentioned earlier, I'm overwhelmed with all of you, with the happiness. If I take his question or his observation, I'm a object of this all brain drain. How? Because I belongs to small town beside the river, that is Sakhar. There they had a very limited resources, no university, only colleges. And at that time, my father was also expatriate at Saudi Arabia. So as an elder child, all the big things of the family I have to manage once he's not in Pakistan. So at the tender age of 19, I joined a pharmaceutical company. But at that time, I decided that what was happening with me, it will not happen with my kids. Once I got the opportunity to go to Quetta, which was bigger than Sakhar, I opted for that. During that time, my kids got Cambridge education. And then from there, I was transferred to Hyderabad. And now, by the grace of God, as what I have listened with the Beverley, that is my life story, because I have been flowing with the flow. And now I see my son is in Canada from last 4 years. He is also expatriate and immigrant. This model of immigration is not sustainable model, because ultimately people who are moving from one country to another country, they feel that their prosperity is not seen to their family members. And within their heart, they always feel wants to go back. For the governments and for the countries, this is not a sustainable model. What I see that we should go for the things which are sustainable. Thank you very much. Over to Toastmaster Shakil Khwaja.
Thanks a lot for your beautiful thoughts. And another an aspect of brain drain is here. When you're migrating from a small city to a big city, it's also sort of a brain drain, you can call, worldwide. Now we have heard from maybe the local brain drain and from the people who migrated from their home countries. Now let's hear from something from the other side of the table. I would like to invite DTM Lisa Thompson to have her experience. Am I audible to you, DTM Lisa?
Yes, I can hear you. I lost connection, so I'm now on
Yeah.
my phone. And
Okay.
I apologize. Can you hear me okay?
Oh, yeah, you are fine. You are perfectly
Great.
audible.
Great,
Look,
thank you
you
so much.
recently told me you shared an experience of an immigrant family that migrated from India. And you are also very good at psychological issues and the civic society. So just tell me your experience, maybe in a couple of minutes, of a family you know who had migrated from India, the social issues. Over to you, DTM Lisa.
So my experience is a little different from everyone else's because I've been living in New York all my life. And when I was in graduate school here in New York, I knew a number of students that had come in, and they were always the smartest students. So I was very accepting, especially of Indian families. I was learning to use the computer when it was first brought out. We had green screens, and I had a colleague who was Indian, and he was very helpful with learning to use the computer. And then after that, when I had my own kids, I had a neighbor that moved in, and I was having problems with my husband, and we ultimately split. And then she had problems with her husband, and my partner at the time helped her to find a job, because although she and her husband had made ends meet, they were not happy, and she wanted to be able to be an independent single mom. And so he helped her to get a job at IBM, and her background was from Toronto University and in business. And so she got a job with IBM as a conference planner, and she worked with them for many years while raising her kids. And then she got a job with another company in a higher up position, also conference planning. And during the time that she was here, we were very, very close. And she would often watch my kids, or her kids would watch my kids or play with them. And it was just very accepting. She was a wonderful neighbor, a beautiful person. And they had a lot of different customs, which we talked about, such as Ramadan. And it was just a wonderful relationship of helping each other and of acceptance and love. And so that's been my experience. I think New York as a melting pot is truly that we're very accepting of people coming in, especially the brightest of the bright, and people that are willing to work hard and share their skills with our communities. So I think it's one of acceptance. Shaquille, you're muted.
Thanks for the beautiful shorts, DTM Lisa. Actually, when you share the real personal life stories of anybody, they are so much powerful for inspiration for all of us. Now I'd like to go to the senior DTM, Rosaline Khan. As you have heard all the perspectives, a young immigrant like DTM Lee Buckley, TM Mary Thomas, TM Catherine, and also the perspective from TM Augustine and DTM Lisa. What's your take overall on the brain drain and how it is contributing in the USA society, you can call, or the economy of USA or European countries where these immigrants are working? Over to you, DTM Rosaline Khan.
Well, it truly is a pleasure and an honor to be with all these distinguished panelists today, because they all are experts in their own world, and to be asked to participate on this is really humbling. So we talk about the world of brain drain, and we see people going out to do what they need to do to get the skills and not seeing themselves as really a person taking from one another, but adding for the betterment of their society and their own family as well. And so my experience is pretty different than most of the people who've spoken. As an educator, I can share the vast experience of the Mexicans, because I live in Southern California. I'll never forget the day a lady got up to give a speech, and she was in tears as her speech went something like this. There was a knock, bang, bang, on the door, and it was the police. And it wasn't the first time they came to go ahead and take her father away. And she was nearly in tears because they didn't have the papers that they needed to have. And I said, being the person I am, I just hope that you look to the right, you look to the left, and someday, somehow, someone in the class will hear your stories and go on to be an immigrant attorney fighting for those people's rights, or the stories of the people who came from, I believe it was El Salvador, and the horrible things that the kids would tell about what they'd gone through of rapes as young kids and coming to the United States and being pawns in the jail system and things like that, or people from Russia coming over here. There was a guy who was a trained actor who could hardly attend his classes, but he certainly lived in the revelry of the plays he were in. Or there was a situation where there was the huge earthquakes, and seeing the people from where they all come from. There was lots of them, Ukraine and all those other countries, and how they were all bonding together to help one another, to help back in their own country. So it's all a matter of perspective. Does it help us? Does it hurt us? Who's the person who's looking, and where's it going ahead and coming from? And I know in certain things, in certain industries, I took a class as a paralegal. They were talking about how you could get the rights of, if you had certain masters in certain industries, that you could easily go to one country to come and do the work. And last but not least, to throw a rumble in, I was in Hawaii recently, just got back from a vacation. You should check out my pictures on Facebook. They're beautiful. But the stories of many Hawaiians go off to the United States, and there's the story. They may think they want the big life, but they always come back to where their parents are, because there's nothing at all that compares to the lifestyle, the camaraderie of the people of Hawaii, and how they take care of one another. So that is my input, and hopefully you gain lots of information. Toastmaster Shaquille, and thank you so much for bringing me together and asking for my input.
Shaquille, you're muted. Shaquille, you're muted.
Yeah,
You're on mute.
thanks DTM Rosaline Khan for your sharing the real life story. They are always inspiring for all of us. Now at the end, at the conclusion part, I would like to get from all the panelists, 6 of us, just 20 to 30 second max your take on possible solutions. I'm just reading some solutions I recently found: investing in the education and research of the home country, enhancing the job market, competitive compensation, encouraging research and innovation in the home country, initiatives for reversing brain drain, brain circulation instead of brain drain, and engaging the diaspora abroad. Over to you, DTM Lee Buckley. Just crisp 20 to 30 seconds max. What's your solution for brain drain for the home country? Just quick 20 seconds or yeah.
Sure. Thank you, Toastmaster Shakil. One of the things that I would have loved to have gotten when I was a youth was scholarships. If I could be given for youth, for example, scholarships to go overseas to pursue education and then come back and work in their home country. And I think that would enrich our life and also encourage us to stay at home as well, because the grass is not always greener on the other side. Back to you, Shakil.
Thank you, DTM Lee Buckley. Now over to you, TM Rosemary. TM Mary Thomas, your quick 20 seconds on the possible solutions. Max.
To me, I don't see this as a problem, because I think we have freedom to move and to be anywhere in the world to pursue whatever we want to pursue. As such, I think it's great that we have an opportunity to move around. And like my children, one is in the UK now, I'm in the Philippines, right now I'm in India. So you see, it's very nice to be a bit nomadic. Back to you.
Thank you for talking on the another perspective of brain drain. Now over to you, TM Augustine. Your take 20 seconds on possible solutions, or is it okay? You are not audible.
Am I audible now?
Yeah. Just quick 15 seconds, yeah, or 20 seconds max.
So what I look into it, that people should not depend on their government. They should find some creative solution for themselves and other. That's all.
Thank you. Over to you, DTM Lisa. Your quick 20 seconds to 30 max. Yeah.
I agree so much with the person that spoke about education. As a speech pathologist, I believe it's very important to identify the needs of children coming into this country so that they can grow up to be able to communicate and advocate for themselves and blend into our society for optimum success.
A lot.
Thank you so much for this panel.
Thanks a lot. DTM Rosaline Khan, your take, 20 seconds.
I think it's up to all of us that in each of our cities and towns, there are many different cultures and backgrounds of people. And if we could make an effort to support these different businesses that are in our own backyard and learn from them and share in their customs and cultures, it's one of the things we could do to make our world a better place. Thank you so much for including me on this panel. Thank you.
Thanks a lot for your views. Now, last but not least, Toastmaster Catherine, over to you. Just sum up in 20 seconds.
Thank you so much. I would like to suggest that we revisit what brain drain really is, because diaspora taxes and income bring wealth to nations if consolidated well. The third last thing I would like to say is the third culture children come out of our experiences when we move. And if they bring this home, it is now a global village. I believe perhaps there's no such thing as a brain drain. Thank you for having me on this panel.
Thanks for all of you. I would thank all the panelists and also the audience. We have a huge audience today as well, that you listen and bear with me as well and the panelists. I'm sure it will have enhanced the learning of the brain drain, the both aspects of it. Over to you, Toastmaster of the day.
Can we give a round of applause to Toastmaster Shakil? Thank you so much, Toastmaster Shakil. I am just so overwhelmed with the richness of this meeting. I hope that you're feeling what I'm feeling. It is just rich. It is so rich. So thank you for giving us the opportunity to learn from so many accomplished opinions and experiences in the meeting. It is now time for me to introduce our table topics master, and this is Guillermo James, who will be taking us on the table topics. Guillermo, you take to the podium.
Thank you, Catherine, and hello, everyone. Today we don't have a regular table topics session. We have what's called a chain table topics. And here's the way it works. I give the first person a question, and he or she speaks on that topic for 1 to 2 minutes. Pay attention to that person, because the next person has to start their table topics with the last word that the previous person used. The next person may speak about whatever they want, but they have to start with that last word. Let's all practice our active listening. I remind everyone that both members and guests may participate, and I look forward to this session. Do we have any volunteers? Excellent. Elios. So since you are the first person, I get to ask you a question, and everyone pay attention to him, because the next person has to start with the word that Elios used last. So Elios, thank you for volunteering. And here is your question. If you had to teach something, what would you teach?
Can you hear me and see me before I start?
Yes, I hear you.
Okay, thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, fellow Toastmasters, welcome to 2024, the year of learning. Well, what happens if you can earn while learn? Exciting, right? And this is what came up in my mind. In the pandemic, I was lost of thoughts. I don't know what to do. And did you know what I did? I joined Toastmasters. After 9 years, long, I delayed it because, well, I'm so full of myself. I said that I did not need to learn about public speaking lah. I'm an English speaking teacher. I can teach everything. Why should I learn public speaking? I'm also a good leader. Every time there's opportunity rise, I will be the one that is chosen by the people. I'm people champion. And there is. I joined Toastmasters and boom, I realized that I'm just nothing or zero. There are so many greater people than me. And yes, I don't want to teach you anything at all because you can just join Toastmasters. All of those materials, subjects are ready to be for you. So one big question is not the teacher itself, but what subject that you want to learn. And in Toastmasters, we learn from each other. And there is no such thing as teacher. And that's why I joined Toastmasters, because I'm getting bored to become a teacher. I feel like I'm the smartest in the room. I'm the smartest person in the room. I need to be not the foolish, but the one that is eager to learn. So do you have that desire to learn? The desire to become a listener? Because I see there is a winner in you. Is that you?
Thank you very much, Elias. And I agree with the sentiment. I think Toastmasters can help you learn how to speak in public and help you with other skills. I see that we have another volunteer. Remember that you may speak about any topic you want, but you have to start with the last word that Elios used. So, Augustine, you may go ahead and start.
Please let me know if I'm correct. The last word he used, leader. Am I right?
I believe he said you at the end.
You, okay. In this universe, you are unique. No two persons are like each other. Even your iris, your body temperatures, your fingerprints, your personality. Around 8 billion people are in this universe. So, excuse me. And you are one of them. But nature has made you unique from all others. So always try to find what goodness in you and how you can retain that goodness, but not only retain, how you share with other human beings, because every human being, because of their previous life's karma, they have been blessed, and that blessing should not take in the grave. It should be shared with everybody else around. People say when you share, it increases happiness and other stuff. But when you share your sorrows with others, it reduces. And the power of single person is enormous. The Chernobyl incidents happen because of one person. If destruction can happen with one person, the world can change with one person also. So it is you, and you, nobody else. So you have to think how you can change the world. Thank you very much. Over to Table Topic Master.
Thank you very much, Augustine. I love the message you told us. Embrace your uniqueness and share it. We have another volunteer, Marie. So you may go ahead, speak about any topic you want. Marie, do you hear me?
Yes,
Oh,
I do. I'm sorry, I'm on my phone and I cannot work it, but I can speak. The last word that I heard him say was world. Is that correct?
Correct.
When I think of world, I think of global. And when I think of global, I think of everything that all of the panelists talked about here tonight. We are a global community. And what happens to one person affects another, even though we may be in a totally different part of the world. But what we have to understand as citizens of a global existence, that we can band together, we can use the power of our voices, which is so evident in Toastmasters. Our voices have power. It helps to empower us as individuals. So if we look at the world as a global opportunity for humanity to do better, to change for the good of mankind, everyone benefits. We know and understand that we really and truly are our brother's keeper. Not in the sense of trying to take care of someone or be there for every little thing that happens, but we have to look out on a global scale and be aware that there are so many differences, but with all those differences, there are so many similarities. How do you feel as you know that you are part of the tapestry that creates a global community? Back to you, Guillermo.
Thank you very much, Marie. As always, I love your answer. Rosalind, I see you have your hand raised, but just before that, I want to go to Serene because I saw your message on chat. So you may go ahead and answer. Serene, do you hear me? Oh, okay, no problem. So Rosalind, please go ahead with your answer.
If you can just please remind me what the last words were. I had it in my head. And when you said someone else, I just lost total whatever we were talking about. Was it the world?
I believe it was community.
Okay. All right. We're in a world that's built with community, and community could be here in America, your local neighborhood council. It could be the people that you go to church with. It could be the women's group, the boys group. It could be the group that you go ahead and volunteer with. And I think when we talk about the world, I look at so many of the different organizations I belong to, and it's always the same people. The same people stand up. The same people volunteer. The same people do everything. And so I think the message to us all is, how do we take our knowledge and how do we share it with other people to get them excited to want to get involved, to take part. And I've heard from many people, and I think of what I've heard, it's less about I, it's more about we. It's looking at each person as a gift, complimenting them on their attributes and their talents, seeing other people in new eyes and new ways, and giving the confidence that you've gained from others to let them know that you believe in them, that they are the change that the world needs today, and they can make it happen. And that's how I see the community and the world and our parts and what all of us can do, and how we can help to build a better world by training the new people with the skills we have through positive reinforcement. Thank you.
Thank you, Rosaline. Yes, let's all do better and share our knowledge with other people. Do we have any more volunteers? I don't see any hands raised. I can volunteer some people if no one.
I think Sabria raised her hand. Sabria Musa. Sabria raised her hand.
Sabria,
Yeah,
please go ahead.
Can you hear me? Yeah.
I
Can
hear
you hear me? Yeah.
Yes.
I remember Rosalind's last word was positive enforcement. Am I right?
Yes, reinforcement.
Reinforcement. Yeah. I believe in positive reinforcement in everything that we do in our life, in bringing up the children or in bringing up the whole family, because positive empowerment or environment will help us to develop them to be a positive person, to go and progress themselves and to want to improve themselves, to be better human, to be better at whatever they're doing. So positive reinforcement, positive environment will also help the whole world to be in a positive way, to avoid war, but to be at peace, to be loving, to be loved. And this is what the world needs: positive environment, positive enforcement. And I believe in everything should be positive. I think that's what we all are in Toastmasters. We exude positiveness. We get people around us to be positive. We speak and talk positively. Back to you, Titia. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Sabria. And let's all spread some positivity around the world. I really agree with that. I know I see other hands up, but we unfortunately ran out of time. So I thank everyone for this Table Topics meeting and session, and hand it over back to the Toastmaster of the day. Thank you.
GJ, I think we can take Anwar as the last speaker.
Absolutely. Anwar, please.
Yeah.
Please go
Yes,
ahead.
hi. Assalamu alaikum, everybody, and good morning. It's good. I'm basically walking, so I'm not turning on my camera. I believe the flow is about clarity of mind. We make flow diagrams when we do programming. Flow is about making sure that you, and I'm walking, so my voice is a little bit wobbling. So flow is all about clarity of mind, clarity of thought, clarity about the destination, knowing your goal. Flow is all about being who you are, and flow is, usually people think flow is like having no control, go with the flow. Now these are the people who don't have their own streams, they don't have their own channels. So I believe in a very parallel world, and I believe every human has got the right to have his identity, his own flow, the way he wants to think. But we all should become a supercomputer where the execution is based on parallel computing. So for me, being an IT professional, and I'm an ITIL professional, I see the world without clarity, without flow, a place which doesn't worth living. Because if you are not clear about your own existence, you don't know about your own source, just like the river. And there is one very small stanza in Urdu, I will say, and I'll translate it. कौन कहता है मौत आई तो मर जाऊंगा, मैं तो दरिया हूं समंदर में उतर जाऊंगा. Who says I'm going to die? I am the river, I'll get into the ocean. And I believe that is the flow we all need to think about, should adhere to, and that is, should have this very existence of us as being who we are, Jews, Muslims, Christians, Hindus, whoever we are. But we are parallels with our own identities. But thanks to the parallel computing, we all are part of a supercomputer called the world. Please accept my apologies. This is my walk time, and I waited till my last moment when you gave me the chance. So I'm very thankful for my dear friend, Mr. Gill, Augustine Gill. Augustine Gill. I am a member of Zenith Toastmaster Club, and I love him because he is a man with the flow, and he knows what the flow is all about. And the best of the best flow is when you understand that we should coexist. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Anwar. I love that phrase about the river flowing into the ocean and how that ties to death. And I'm glad that we heard your answer. I now hand it over back to the Toastmaster of the day, and Catherine.
Thank you so much. A round of applause to our Table Topics Master. Thank you so much, Guillermo, for that insightful way of presenting table topics. I would like to now invite the evaluator for our first speaker, DTM Promote, to present his report of his evaluation of Toastmaster Shakil. Please give a round of applause to welcome him.
Good morning and good evening, Toastmasters and guests. The panel discussion was outstanding. I'm not here to comment about the panel discussion, but to comment about Toastmaster Shakil as the coordinator of the panel discussion. Normally, in a panel discussion, the flow is we first introduce the topic, because the topic is the hero in a panel discussion. Let me comment on the topic. Sometimes we give very plain topics. Here, Shakir also came out with a very good topic, that is brain drain. I thought that, or I still think that it would have been better if he had given two sides of the topic, like brain drain or brain in the drain. So that means, yeah, of course, people will get more ideas about this, and it will encourage panel discussion in a different way when you give something controversial or something somewhere you are keeping two options for the panelists to speak. And the second most important aspect in a panel discussion is to have good panelists. Shakil, you are so lucky to have such a wonderful panelist for today's discussion. All are outstanding in their own field, and they have got different experience, and they are appropriate to speak on the topic. So introduction, the time is the constraint in a panel discussion. You got 30 minutes for the panel discussion, and imagine that if you are using the entire 30 minutes for the discussion, it would have encouraged, it would have been much more exciting and much more intriguing for the panelists. But I felt that you used the first 5 to 7 minutes for the introduction of the speakers. Then you came directly on. I felt that yeah, that's one. Then you gave 2 minutes each to the panelists. Then they came out with their opinion. See, the job of a panelist to coordinate and make a smooth transition between one topic to the other. Suppose Catherine started with her own thing. Either you can give an opportunity to the other speaker to counter the point or recheck with the speaker whether it is right or not. So you are the most important person. You decide the course of action, or the course or the flow of the panel discussion. That's exactly the job of a moderator or a panelist. When you feel that it is going somewhere else, or the discussion is digressing or deviating from the main topic, then you have the power to bring back. The only person who can control a panelist, because whoever is the panelists are, whether they are DTMs or whether they are celebrities, but the most important person in a panelist is the moderator. So you should always have that upper hand. The third thing is the time. And the time, I already told you that you have to cut and you have to cut in a graceful manner. That's an art. You should not offend the other person. At the same time, you should agree to disagree with the other person and give opportunity to the third panelist and all. Making the balance. It's all like a verbal acrobatism that you have to make and make everybody comfortable and all. Then the final summary is very important. The final summary of the not only the panelist, but you also have to coordinate and tell the audience that what was the outcome of the panel discussion, whether the brain drain is good, or if there are any difference of opinion, that you have to stand it out as different of opinion because of some other reasons. This is exactly the job of panelists. I hope that you have done and understood the art of moderating a panel discussion by conducting all those things. And for me, if you ask me what is the best thing I do or I get in a panel discussion, is to network with so many good stalwarts like the panelists you have today. It's an honor to have them here. And I thank them for being here and delivering their own points and all. Sorry, I'm not commenting anything on the points that you discussed or deliberated here. It is all about Shakil. Shakil, you did a good job. All the best to your further projects and wishing you a fast completion of your path. I think it is the 5th project. You can 5th level, and you can complete it maybe within a month. We'll be celebrating it soon. Back to you, Catherine. Thank you.
Thank you so much, DT and Pramod, for that evaluation. I would like now to invite our timer, the role taker for the day, to share his report. Toastmaster Shihas Baka, over to you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Catherine. Our keynote speaker took around 16 minutes, and the panel discussion went for 32 minutes. So both were a minute or two over the allocated time. When it comes to our table topics, except Toastmaster Anwar, all were within the allocated time frame, that is less than 2 minutes. And Pramod took a little over 3 minutes and 30 seconds for his evaluation. That's all I have for now, and back to you.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Shihas Baka, for your report as timer. I would like to now invite our general evaluator, but before I invite our general evaluator, I would like to tell you a few things about who DTM Lee Buckley is. Please allow me to read this introduction of who she is. Toastmaster Buckley is previously a management consultant with PwC and installation manager with CSR Roofing. Lee was instrumental in driving a number of systems, implementation, and business processes re-engineering projects. She has been working in the tertiary education sector in Australia for a past decade. She lectures at Torrens University in Australia. She is an active member of Toastmasters International and has held numerous club and district officer roles in 2 districts in Australia. She has been kind enough to choose to evaluate our meeting today. Please welcome with me, DTM Lee Buckley.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the Day, Catherine. Would I be able to have the share screen privilege, please?
You should be able to.
No? Yeah. Excellent. Thank you so much. Well, I've had a fantastic meeting today, a jam-packed meeting with the keynote speaker as well as the panel moderation. I would like to give some feedback regarding the overall conduct of the meeting and then on some roles that have not been evaluated. First of all, congratulations to the club. I love how we networked before the meeting, although the meeting was started 4 minutes late, but started on time-ish. And there were active chats throughout the meeting. And it is very good to have the publicity because good publicity equals good attendance. So well done to the club on the overall meeting conduct. And then perhaps just some recommendation. Again, these are not meant to be criticisms, but just some suggestions as to some things that you can perhaps take, to change or improve or do something differently next time. I noticed, especially today, we have panel discussion, we have got moderation, it'll be good to share the agenda in the chat as well, so that there might be attendees who have not had access to your agenda prior hand. And also maybe have some virtual background, make it more interesting. The meeting agenda, I love how you have the meeting theme, the link, your club officer details, and everything clearly laid out. What I would like to recommend is that I love your publicity, the poster that you put in the WhatsApp chat. And that was very interesting. It hooked everyone to come to the meeting. But when I look at the agenda, you can look at the agenda as a great PR tool, to bring people to the club. I couldn't see the club name on the agenda. So it'll be good if you can perhaps emulate some of what you had on the poster on the agenda. So for example, the TI logo, the club name, and also a message, because it's a great PR tool. How do people contact you? Who do they contact? What do they do if they want to join the club? I noticed how the timer has put in the chat, if you're interested in our upcoming meetings, contact me. But perhaps have it on the agenda as well. You had your Facebook and your YouTube on the poster, but have it on the agenda so that people can also go, oh, I like this club, I like this meeting. How can I find out more details? And then they can have a look at the agenda. Well done to the club. First of all, the Sergeant at Arms, warm welcome, reiterated the meeting etiquette and the Toastmasters club mission. Perhaps it'd be great if we could see him as well, but I do understand sometimes it's technical. But that's okay. I'm just imagining, okay, what he looks like. Madam President, a warm welcome, always smiling, acknowledge the dignitaries, special guests, and I love how she reminded club officers, please attend the club officer training. For the Toastmaster of the Day role, warm welcome, engaging, she did everything right. She also demonstrated active listening, where she provided commentary between the speakers and the different segments as well. Well done to Madam President and the Toastmaster of the Day. Keynote speaker, Beverley, how inspiring and engaging. I love how she shared personal experiences, which were relatable to the topic and to the audience as well. And how she ended her keynote with takeaways. Get a coach, find out what you're good at. Don't do all the 10 things, but narrow them down to 2. And then excel in those that are part of your purpose. So thank you to our keynote speaker. I'm going to look forward to more of your keynotes and also look at your following you as well. So thank you. Table Topics Master, I love the chain table topics, where he reiterated what it was. What's a chain table topics? He also demonstrated active listening between the speakers. What I would like to recommend is, because you're doing something differently, which is a chain table topic, it will be more impactful if you have speakers ready, and then you just go from one to another as if it's a chain. And this was what we did at another club, and it was more impactful and effective, because if not, some speakers might go, oh, what was the last word again? And then they've lost their chain of thoughts. But well done to the Table Topics Master. Project Evaluator, he was smiling, encouraging, and I love how he provided commendations and recommendations to the speaker as a panel moderator, and that is very important. Just a couple of notes. Sometimes he was a bit too close to the camera, the gesture, so he got a bit of distraction there. So just perhaps, I know I'm one of these speakers who love gestures, and I have to remind myself to either keep them lower or keep them further away from the camera. But well done to the project evaluator. And the timer, well done, explain the timing sequence, remind the speakers to pin him, detailed reports. Just perhaps show us your timing background as well when you're explaining the timing sequence. And last of all, congratulations to the club. I note on the dashboards, you are going to be 1 year old next month on the 17th of February, but already you have met 6 goals in your Distinguished Club program. Club members, all you have to do is submit 2 more awards, level 2, 1 more level 3, and club officer training. Remember, you've got half a point, but If you do the second half, you'll get a point there and 2 more members. And guess what? You'll be President Distinguished in your first year of charter. Well done, everyone. And thank you for having me at your meeting. Back to you, Toastmaster of the Day.
Wow. Wow. Can you please give a round of applause to our general evaluator? I've never seen something like this before. Thank you so much, DTM Lee Buckley, for that experience that we have received. I believe each of us has got an experience, but also we've been inspired to become evaluators. Beverley, I would like you to come onto the screen for a minute. We would like to present you with our Thanksgiving note and a word to say thank you so much for taking off time beyond your normal hours to give us your time. And this is our appreciation. Please follow the appreciation with a round of applause to our keynote speaker. Thank you so much,
Thank
Beverley.
you. Thank you so much, Kathy. Thank you, everyone. Such a pleasure.
Thank you for coming. Thank you for having us as your host tonight and this morning. We're glad that you gave us time. Thank you so much. So Toastmasters and guests, I would like to thank you so much for coming to this meeting. I will now wear my hat as president and take note of all the guests that we had today. I would like to thank Augustine for coming, Lisa Thompson for choosing to be a panelist, Lee Buckley to choose to take a role, Rosaline Khan being a panelist, Abraham Menez, Anwar Kamal, Arvind Pereno, Chinming Chow, Arvind Pereno again, Elios Theophilus, Rosemary Sweeney, Saeed Iftakhar Ali, Muhammad Amir, Zareen Ganiwala, and Anis Yunus. Sajid Adam, you are most welcome once again. I would like to thank you so much, our guests, for choosing to meet with us as Toastmasters for Professionals. If I have left out somebody, please remind me if I have done that. Zareen Ganiwala, thank you so much for choosing to join us. We do have a few minutes. Guests, if you're willing, please unmute yourself and tell us what was your experience. How did you get to know about our club? Please do it as well as you can. Right now, the meeting is adjourned. Yes, Zareen, please go ahead. Or Augustine, please go ahead. Please speak to us and tell us. Yes.
Yes, it was a wonderful experience. Thank you very much for Toastmaster Shakil Khwaja. He has been brittling me to come and enjoy this meeting. And I was very much upset about it. That whole day I was busy helping, receiving his call. And now, whole day what I think is feeling of pleasure and pain. But pleasure is more, pain is less. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Augustine. Zareen, please go ahead. And Lisa in that order. Zareen, you are muted. Zareen, please unmute yourself.
Can you hear me? I'm Zareen. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, I'm Zareen. Hello. Everybody listen my here. Yeah.
Yes, you are audible.
Okay, thank you so much. I just listened to everyone. They all are share their opinion also. I'm very glad to see all of you. And I learned lots of from behalf on my Shakil also. He's invited me today and it's a wonderful job. It's a wonderful, great experience for me. And I highly appreciate it to all of you. Thank you. Over to Shakil. Thank you, all of you. Good morning here, Karachi, Pakistan.
Thank you so much, Zareen. Lisha, please go ahead. Lisa, are you there?
Catherine, sorry to interrupt.
Yes, please.
Recent Miss Zareen's brother is passed out, I will request all of you to offer her condolence because she was experiencing this grief of the death of his foreign brother. Please offer her condolences.
Zareen, we offer our condolences. We condole with you.
Thank you, all of you.
Please. Thank you so much, Augustine, for that.
And thank you for Augustine Gills, all of you. Very nice. Lovely meeting today.
Thank you. Thank you so
Have a
much.
nice day. Have a nice day.
Thank you. Yes,
Good
Lisa.
luck.
Lisa, you're muted.
I'm ready. I just didn't know if there was Arvin. I think you need to mute pausing status. Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, I was just going to extend my condolences to Zareen. So good morning, good evening. It's been a pleasure being here. Thank you so much. I got a surprise phone call this morning, and I'm trying to practice saying yes more to Toastmasters requests in the new year. And I'm very glad that I did. It was a pleasure meeting with all of you and networking and being part of this panel. So thank you so much for inviting me. I'd be happy to be invited anywhere again. Thank you.
You're most welcome. Thank you so much, Lisa. Arvin, are you there? Please speak to us and tell us.
I'm Arvin from Philippines. I would like to thank you all for this experience, and I couldn't believe that this club will just celebrate its first year because I couldn't tell because the way you handled the program, it was very smooth, and I supposed to participate in the table topics, but I was starstruck with all the professionals that I'm seeing. Maybe sometime or next time I will participate in table topics. But I really enjoyed watching you guys, sharing all your experiences, giving your thoughts about the subject, and it was indeed a wonderful experience for me. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Arvin. That is wonderful to hear from you. Rosalind, please let us know, how did you like this meeting?
Oh, I want to thank you again. It was nice to get a message from Shaquille, and you always leave in a better way than you enter, and just seeing so many friends that I've seen in so many different platforms and seeing them again. And congratulations on your development for just a club. It's in 1 year celebration. All the success that you've actually had is just through the roof to the leaders and the organizers beyond this club, the evaluators and everything, all inclusive. Hats off. I'm impressed.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Rosalind. Elias, we're always privileged to have you. It's a miracle to see you every day. So please open and unmute and tell us about yourself.
Oh, what do you need for me to explain?
Please let us know, how did you like the meeting?
Oh, okay. Thank you, everybody. This is a very high quality meeting because you already get a lot of high caliber speakers here. The moderator, of course, also, and keynote speaker. Wow, this is definitely the definition of exceptional meeting. So if you keep on doing this, wow, people will be coming to your club like raining hard, very hard, because people are thirsty for learning and hungry for teaching. I said it because the best moment or the best method to learn is to teach the others. And yes, I'm so grateful that I can join this meeting because, as always, the people here who are having or taking the knowledge taking also taking this very seriously. They took it to the highest standard, and if you keep on doing this standard, well, people will believe me, people will come again and again, like it is their home club. So that's all that I would like to say. Happy New Year 2024, and once again, to our dear friend here, who is having her birthday, the birthday, what I can say, the birthday baby, Samaria. Happy birthday. Take to you, Catherine.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Elias. It's always a pleasure to hear from you. Sajid Adam, are you there? Or Anwar Kamar, are you there? Would you please let us know what was your experience with the meeting? Subhadra, are you there?
Yes.
Yes, I'm here. I'm here. Thank you very much for the opportunity. I have been attending, Toastmaster from some time, although I'm 60 years of age, from Pakistan Navy, and I always got the chance to learn a lot whenever I went there. And I think today's meeting, being such an heterogeneous meeting where so many different people from so many different countries were there, and I see a lot of harmony. I see a lot of respect for each other, and the way it was conducted, I think all the credit goes to the person who made it happen. And I think uh, it was a great experience as always. And I believe now, as the Toastmaster is going virtual also and has gone virtual from some time, I was not aware of that. Thank you to Mr. Augustine Gill, who introduced me to this, and I got the very first chance to be in an international meeting. I think it was considering that we are so far from each other, but it was quite an harmonious meeting. I'm really thankful for those who conducted it, and they played their role very well. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Anwar. It's a pleasure. Please come again and visit us. It's a pleasure meeting you. And Shakil, who invited most of our guests, thank you so much, Shakil. Where are you? I can't see you. Subhadra, are you there? Would you like to say something to us?
I would like to thank all of you, Madam President, and DM Mary Thomas as well. It's always, I call Toastmasters Professionals my second club, you can say. In the international clubs, I have been very frequent here. I've got the speech slot. In fact, my first ever prepared speech I gave, it was in your club. So, and you gave me, in fact, you would be glad to know that today was my big, looking at the longest project, you can say, of my 7th-month Toastmaster journey till today. Around half an hour panel discussion. It's not an easy to get the slot as well for this long project. And you gave me, thanks to all of you. And it was not easy to moderate, because I think the most difficult part is moderating a session than delivering a speech. Thanks to all of you.
Thank you so much, Shakil. Thank you so much for giving color to this meeting. It was a pleasure having you, and you did such a fantastic job. I would like to hear from our general evaluator, Lee Buckley. I know you gave us your evaluation, but just let us know, how did you feel in the meeting? Did you enjoy yourself?
Yes, I did. Thank you, Madam President, and hello, everyone. I had a 2-week break, Christmas, New Year, and when Toastmaster Mary said, "Would you like to be general evaluator?" I thought, I am going to do this. I would need to motivate myself after 2 weeks break. But I'm glad I said yes. I love the meeting. I love how you had time for not only the keynote speaker, the table topics, and then the panel moderation as well. So it was a jam-packed meeting. And I'll be back next time as well. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Lee Buckley. Thank you for giving us time. Thank you for choosing to join us today. Syed Iftikhar Ali, are you there? Would you like to let us know how you found this meeting? Or Mohammed Amir, please speak to us. How was your experience? Thank you so much, Syed. We didn't hear you clearly. Okay. Thank you so much. I would like to thank each and every one of us for attending this meeting. Toastmasters and guests, thank you once again for choosing to meet with us at Toastmasters for Professionals. I would like to thank each and every one of you for coming, for taking off time to meet with us. And I would like to say bye-bye for now. Have a wonderful new year. I hope you're taking off your time to get ready for this new year. Thank you.
Happy New Year.
Bye-bye. It's been a pleasure.